Hi guys, we are going live today with Austin's top agent, Jeremy Knight. He's our referral partner for Austin, and let me invite him in. How are you?
Hello. Great. How are you? Can you hear
I'm
me?
awesome.
Favorite coffee shop in Austin, Texas, Cosmic Coffee. Just enjoying the day. It's not 180 degrees today, so we're
What
doing
is
good.
your fall weather like? Is it still really hot in the fall there or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's still getting up to like 100 recently, but like fall weather is like 85 to 90. It's beautiful.
That's
Feels
our
great.
weather for sure.
Yeah, it
So,
feels great.
so I was just saying when I first hopped on that you're Austin's top agent. We love you because you obviously are very knowledgeable, but more than that, you're also fun and interesting.
Thank
Like
you.
we really want all of our referrals to have a great time and a good experience. I think that's one of the things that I really like about you. I'm going to post his last video that he shared afterwards on here. Best laid plans.
Yeah.
I was doing a live yesterday and my phone decided it was hot and just kept cutting out. So frustrating. Okay, so we have a lot of people that move there, especially in their 20s and 30s. Why do you
Yeah.
think they're coming to Austin?
Austin is one of those really great places where there's a lot of things to do. And so if you're coming from more of a colder weather place and you're coming to Austin, there's more to things to do year round. Even in the winter when it's cold here, there's a lot of outdoor activities. So if you're, I guess it doesn't really matter your age, but if you are into a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of outdoor things, Austin provides a lot of that. And the culture is a great culture here. If you want to go out and do the nightlife, there's tons of great nightlife in the Austin area. Like right now, I'm at a coffee shop. It's an outdoor coffee shop, drinking coffee. They have boozy drinks here. So I have friends that will meet here at noon. I'll have a coffee because I quit drinking, and they'll drink and have a bevy, and we'll hang out. There's barbecue. There's fun stuff. There's like food trucks right here. So this is like kind of what the vibe of Austin is like. It's food trucky. It's outdoors. It's fun and vibrant. And so if you're looking for one of those areas that there's just a lot to offer, Austin is absolutely, and if you have a family, it's a great family city. There's just a lot to do for families. So yeah, there's just a lot to do, really.
You know, it's interesting you say a lot with families too, because I think that's like one of the reasons, we stay in the Midwest. Our ancestors moved here, we stay
Yeah.
because we're all here. But and like we're kind of an outdoor community too, but it's really from like April till like November. But family is a big part of that, and I think that that's why people stay. It's a nice place for families, and so it makes sense to me that people would move there. Do you like in the summer? I'm always curious because like we love Wisconsin. We say it's our summers are amazing. Like, do you spend your summers indoors because it's too hot, or how does that work?
It depends. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you do before 11 a.m. And then you're hanging out at night, because usually the hottest part of the day for Austin is between like 11 and 7. And then when the sun starts to go down, it really cools off. So, even when it's like super, super hot, there's still a lot of outdoor things to do. This place I'm at, they always have misters and stuff. So even during the summer when it's blazing hot, people are out here enjoying that. I mean, I was out here all summer meeting with agents, so and clients. So yeah, I mean, really anything you want to get done that's like super hot, you want to get done before 11, or like you bet you're going to be hot in the afternoon, you get done before 11.
Then you come back out at night and enjoy all the
Yeah.
nightlife. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
like. So what is like? So right now we're talking. It's September 2023. What's the market like there right
Yeah,
now?
it's really interesting because Austin fell out of love with a lot of people because the prices got really expensive. And I keep hearing people talk about how the prices are still so expensive, yet the prices are down to 2021 numbers. So all of that crazy high prices that you saw in 2022 are gone. I mean, we are literally back down to 2021 prices. So the market itself is definitely slower than what it was in the first half of this year. And a lot of that's rate driven. When rates are at 7.5%, people stop buying as much. Yet we have buyers right now. In the last week, we put 4 buyers under contract, all at an average of about 6% below list price. Now, 6% doesn't sound a lot, but when you actually look at a $4 to $1 million home and take 6% off, it's, depending on the price point you're at, that's a lot off. So yeah, we're seeing on average about 6% off, and we're getting a lot of the clients incentives So if we're going to builders or if we're writing offers on resale, you know, we're getting a lot of the sellers to pay around 10 to 15,000 in closing costs, plus they're getting X off the top. So we're seeing a lot of really, really good deals. And, you know, we have clients that are getting, you know, under 6% because they're getting those buy downs or they're getting that, you know, seller incentive. So it's interesting. The people willing to take advantage of the market are actually getting a really good price.
That's what we're seeing here too. Like we last week, 2 buyers under contract that have been looking, one for over a year, you know, and it was so competitive here that it was off-putting to people. And even though that the rates are higher, I think that they're seeing now is the opportunity for some buyers who've been looking for a long time. I'm curious, so are sellers, like if your home price is down to 2021, are sellers not are cautious about putting a house on? They want to wait till the price goes back up, or how's that?
We're seeing record high inventory, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we didn't have a whole lot of inventory in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. In fact, on average, so like let's go back to 2019. I'm the data guy, so you're going to get data from me. 2019, on average, we were about 3.5 months inventory. Right now, we're at 4 months inventory, about 3.9. So we're actually seeing more inventory than we saw during the same type of market. Back then, interest rates were around, I mean, we had clients getting interest rates in the 5.5%, which back then everybody thought was astronomically high. Now they're seeing 7.5%. And yeah, that's expensive. So it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of inventory. The problem I'm seeing with the inventory is the good inventory gets bought in really fast. And so if buyers are out and they're taking their time and they see a really, really good property that they like, it's been on the market a week, and they don't jump on it because they want to see about getting a lower price, you know, 14 days from now, those properties are getting purchased. I had a client looking at a $3 million house near the lake, and they've been on the market about 100 days. And there's another one that's been on the market 250 days. I was like, look, we know that this is the better property. It's been on the market 100 days. Let's get a really good offer in on it, and let's get it. And they waited 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, they went under contract on that $3 million property for 2.82.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah, it was. I mean, and my clients missed out on that one, and they looked at the other one. They go, well, we don't want the other one. We want that one. I go, so even.
Oh, your clients weren't the ones who got the 2.8.
No.
That's frustrating, isn't it? I think too, like buyers have a little bit of a sentiment like, oh, I'll wait and see when something's been on the market a little while. Because like our market is different than yours right now. Yeah. We have really low inventory. And that's like what we, you know, when I'm watching inventory nationally, it seems like we've kind of been reciprocals. Like our inventory's been super low and nobody's been putting it on the market. Now our inventory is creeping up, and only because we have less buyers, not that there's that much more coming on and that homes are sitting longer.
And you see that?
I think, go ahead.
You see that for this? So I know a lot of people out there like, oh, it's doom and gloom, but isn't this what you see typically this time of year where it slows down, or does your market? Because in Austin, right, like seasonally, you'll see prices drop every single year. And I put the stat out all the time. Like I know everybody thinks that this is abnormal, but we're actually decreasing prices at a lower rate than we were the last 3 years. So
ours is decreasing a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Like I think our stall maybe comes in like late October, November.
Okay.
Usually not September and October. So I think it's taking people a little bit by surprise.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep reaching out to our buyers like, now let's go. There's houses out there for you. How affordable is your market for people? Like, especially like I said, I think what I see is a lot of 20, 30-year-olds moving there. What is like their entry level houses look like in a nicer area?
Okay. So if you're looking, so we have Austin as a whole, and then we have all the little cities around Austin. So if you're looking at Austin as a whole and you're wanting to be close to Austin for a 2,000 square foot single family home, you're probably looking about $650 to $850, depending on how close you're going to be. Now, you can live really close and get like a smaller, like 1,100 square foot place for around $550 to $650. So that's why people are like, oh, that's not as cheap. But if you went to the suburbs around Austin, you can find a really, really great house under $450, like a really, really nice house under $450. And so that's, I think, what's pushed people off from Austin is this. A lot of people want to be close into town to take advantage of all the fun stuff. If you do that, you're going to get a much smaller place for more expensive than you would a much bigger place 25 minutes outside of city central.
That's interesting. So for us, so Milwaukee, our counties are on Lake Michigan. And so Milwaukee's kind of on the lake and around. And so Milwaukee County prices are actually kind of cheaper. But the tight ring around Milwaukee County, like the closest suburbs are higher. Not quite to $650 for entry. I would say $450. But then as you move out, it drops. So it's kind of like a ring of higher. The ones that are close and want to take advantage of Milwaukee. But I would say right now, Milwaukee is, since it's an older city and really built out, I feel like, especially younger buyers, I feel like they don't want to do much updating in that as much, right?
No.
So they want to, no. And
No.
so they're kind of moving that outer ring. So yeah, I would say our entry level is probably comparable, maybe 2,200 less than the starting point, which would make sense to me because I feel like you're a really hot city and we're not so hot as far as people moving to.
And what's interesting is I'm having this conversation with sellers that last year they would, or even the year before, they'd put a house on the market that wasn't necessarily in the best shape, or they wouldn't put the extra work into it, and those properties would sell. You can't do that in this market. You can't, not to say anything bad about sellers, but you can't be a lazy seller right now. You really do have to spend a little money to get the house ready if you actually want the price that you want. And this is a conversation I'm having with a lot of sellers. It's like, what's this price range? Does putting in this $10,000 get us 10,000 plus? And what's the benefit in that? Or does us not putting in this 10,000 cost us 30, 40, 50,000 when we could have spent that and got that money back? So
time, right?
Yeah.
It's good to sit there longer too. So yeah, also like if they're trying to get somewhere else or get their money out, and they don't do those things. I had an older client and they had a condo, and they weren't that old, but it wasn't, I really wanted them to stage it, and I had a kind of plan it, and we have to stage, we're moving your stuff out. And as soon as the house was staged, before it even went live, he called me. He's like, "You're right. It looks so good." But I think you're right. Like sometimes sellers do want to be quote unquote lazy sellers.
Yeah, there's probably a much better term than lazy sellers, but that's just the easiest word I could come up with.
Yeah, it works, right? Okay, so now the other thing, we just have a lot of people going to Austin for vacation and fun, and I think maybe that's what turns them into future buyers.
Yeah,
they come there like, I love this, I love the vibe. So when people come visit Austin, if they're going to be there for a weekend, like what are a couple things that they have to do, would you say?
Oh man, I don't think a weekend is enough time to really get a sense of all the goodness Austin is. But I would definitely, so hit up a spot like I'm at right here. This is Cosmic Coffee. It really embodies the vibe of what Austin is. So I would come to a place like this. There's quite a few different coffee shops like this, or coffee / beer gardens. I would come to a place like this. I'd hang out in the Zoeller Park area, South Congress, because then you really kind of get, like, South Congress is kind of like the historic, like what you think of Austin. I would definitely go out. The Oasis is terrible food. It's terrible, but you get to go out and see the lake, have a couple, drinks, bevies, check out the lake. I would definitely recommend like paddle boarding on Lake Austin, or not Lake Austin, but Lady Bird Lake, which is the main area, which is around Zoeller Park. I would definitely do that. Go up to the Domain, do some shopping at the Domain. Now, South Congress has got Hermes now. It's got all these high-end boutiques, which it used to be just this kind of like, for lack of better words, like, people with the flat hats and the funny mustaches were the hipsters. It used to be the hipster area, and now it's kind of like high-end luxury stuff, but it's really like, it's turning into Rodeo Drive, which is sad. I liked it the way it was, but I'm one of those fuddy-duddies. So I would do things like that, and then definitely do the Museum of Ice Cream if you have kids. The Museum of Ice Cream is so much fun. My son, we've been like 3 times. My son always wants to go. I would do that. There's a lot of like fun stuff. Like I would definitely go find and look up all the different food trucks, especially out on the east side. Barbecue, if you want barbecue, I highly recommend you go to my favorite place, Valentina's. There's a lot of really good barbecue places. I would check out that. I mean, I really don't think 2 to 3 days is enough time in Austin. I would spend like 4, and that would really give you an opportunity to see a lot of stuff.
There is. And do people hotel or Airbnb or both? Like what? somebody's visiting?
Yeah, I have clients that will stay at really nice hotels, like the Proper, really, really cool bar, restaurants. I think there's 3 restaurants in there, really, really cool bar. I was in the other day, and one of the ex-Cowboy players was in there. I'm like, that guy used to play for UT. This guy's a big housing developer. I'm like, what the heck? Where am I at? So really, really kind of like just unique spots. A lot of people will do Airbnbs the zip code is 78704. It's the Zilker Park area, Bolden Creek area, just south of the river or south of Lady Bird Lake. So if you're going to do Airbnb, I'd find a spot in there. So I mean, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really go wrong.
Awesome. Well, I will let you go. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for telling us about the market and about Austin. If anybody, needs a referral to Austin, make sure you check out Jeremy. He's your guy.
Yep. I'm a husband-wife team. My wife is amazing, and she does most of the work. So I'm just here to be the pretty face,
Good thing she's got you.
The funny thing is she's prettier than I am, so she should be on here more.
This is the thing. I work with my daughter, and she's definitely prettier than I am, and she's definitely funnier, but she's not on camera as much.
Yeah, I can't get her on camera as much. I try.
They don't want it. The pretty faces don't come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks for your time, Jeremy. Talk to you
All
later.
right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.